What's up, lifers? I'm here at Moro Park in Monte Cristi, Dominican Republic, and it was 100 pesos, or about $2 to get into this park. We're about to go down to the beach, so come with me. As you can see, the water's looking very blue. Looks nice. I just walked the beach. It was extremely picturesque. I got my shoes wet. A wave caught me, but that was really nice. You know, here in the sleepy beach town of Monte Cristi, there's actually a lot of history. And we're about to go discover some of that history at the Monte Cristi Museum. This really is the life, huh, lifers? Check out this view. That was really good. Got a little lobster, a little seafood soup. I like the seafood soup the best because there was like octopus and a whole bunch of other stuff in there. I like octopus. I'm a big octopus guy. And Presidente Light. I'm here in the center of Monte Cristi, and behind me stands the clock tower of Monte Cristi. I was told that the clock tower behind me was actually designed by the same person who designed the Eiffel Tower, whose last name I believe was Eiffel, and whose first name I can only assume was Pierre, since he was French. So the town of Monte Cristi is actually quite historic in Cuban history specifically, but also in the history of the Caribbean. This has always been a hotbed of piracy throughout the history of the Caribbean. But a significant development in Cuban history, in 1895, Jose Marti and Maximo Gomez signed a very important document here, the Manifesto of Montecristi, before they went off to Cuba to fight for Cuba's independence from Spain. And if you remember, in our Key West series, Lane and I visited the house in Key West where Jose Marti and probably Maximo Gomez visited to give like fundraising speeches to the Cuban population there in Key West. So pretty interesting how the history of the entire region is all interconnected. But yeah, Monte Cristi. Let's go see if we can go to the museum of Monte Cristi, El Museo de Monte Cristi. Well, just as I was informed would likely be the case, El Museo de Monte Cristi está cerrada. It's closed. My Airbnb host, who is a man named Ari, very nice guy, who is a U.S. Army veteran who retired here, told me that the guy who owns that is actually an American, I think named Mr. Stevens or something, and that he has had some trouble funding the museum, so it's been touch and go, and that it would likely be closed. And so it was. And thus, let us skedaddle, lifers, on to La Isabela, the site at which one of Columbus's ships, bug just flew in my eye, the site at which one of Columbus's ships physically landed. Let's go. But there's also a nice restaurant that I'd like to go visit right now. Let me just go ahead and give a closing thought to Monte Cristi, and we'll just wrap it up with a bow and then move on. It's a nice, sleepy little beach town with a great deal of history. Unfortunately, I can't learn about the history because the museum is closed. But Wikipedia exists, and this town was pretty key because of its location close to Cuba, and it was also like a bastion for piracy throughout the history of the Caribbean. So that's pretty cool, I guess. Final thoughts. If you are a tourist and you want a pristine beach town without any tourists, you should come to Monte Cristi. It's pretty far away from everything else. It's a gem. If you just want to sit on a beautiful beach, alone or with very few people, and just relax and enjoy the sun and the waves. Monte Cristi.